Hi guys, welcome to today's session, and in today's session I'm going to be talking about page layout. If your CRM feels clustered or you're confusing or your team keeps missing important information, then your page layout is probably the problem. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create new page layout or customize the existing page layout when necessary. If you've been following my sessions, you will already be familiar with the page layout, but you might not be familiar with how to customize it from the back end. So I'm going to show you how to customize your page layout and segment informations according to the group which is information belonging. When I'm talking about information, I'm simply talking about the field or the property informations. For instance, you can have contact details, you can have details about a particular estate you're selling, and then you want to segment this information, and you can also manipulate or update the access on each section of each section on the page layout. So follow me carefully and let me show you how to customize the page layout. But first, I'm going to show you, for people that haven't been following my sessions, how the page layout looks like and what is actually called the page layout from the UI, that is the user interface. Now, this is just an object, so I usually use the contact object as the sample object here. And when you open a record, remember I've told you that all these sitting here are records. So this is a collection of a data that belongs to a single contact, and the collection of this data is what we call record in HubSpot or in CRMs. So when you open a record, it sits inside a page. It's just like you opening up a book, and then the first page of a book belongs to a particular contact, and then the second belongs to a particular contact. But I want to organize this page so that where first name sits on a particular record is where it sits on this next record, except there are manipulations or variables you need to change when some certain information change. And then you can actually give a user access by the type of information that is sitting in the page layout. So this is a contact here, and this is the whole page layout of this contact. Now we have different sections here. We have the contact details, we have the activities, we have the catch up and about, the revenue and the intelligence, and then we have the related records. So all the related records are here, and you can also add more. So let's go to the back end and customize this page layout. So when you want to customize your page layout, as I've always said, you just go to the settings icon at the top here and click and open it up. So it takes you to the back end, which allows you to customize your page layout. If you open up this page and you don't get access to the direct contact object, what you can do is that you just have to come here under data management and find the exact object which you want to work on and go to the layout of the object. So I usually say that when you're on a particular object and you click on these settings, it takes you directly to the back end where you can customize directly on that object. This is the way the CRM platform has been built for most CRMs. It's not just HubSpot. So on the setup, we are going to go to objects from data management if you can't find your contacts directly, and then you select the object which you want to customize your page layout on. But for this, I want to customize the page layout on the contact, so I'm still sticking with the contact object. When you want to customize your page layout, you have to come here and click record customizations, but I recommend you preview the customization to see what it looks like. So I'm going to click the preview customization button first, and it's opening up. While it's opening up, we are going to click on the default view, right, and see what it looks like. So this is what it looks like, and this is almost similar with this, or is same with this. So we have the contact, and this is the contact section. We have the breeze record summary, the contact details, and funny as it may be, all these are seated right inside here. Look at the contact details, and we can actually, after you have previewed this, we have to go back and then go to the main page that you need to customize this record page. So I'll go to record customization and start, I'm still going to see the default view, or if you have already created a new view, you can actually work with the new view that you have created. And then if you want to create a new view, you can go ahead and click the create theme view button, which will allow you to create a new view. But for this, we are not going to be creating a new view. We are going to be working with the default view that we have. So I just want to show you how to update it and how to customize it. So I'm going to still click inside the default view. And when I click inside the default view, it brings out the layout. This is the exact layout that is sitting on this contact here. So this section is existing here. The contact details is here. And do not mind what you're seeing that you can't find the fields. When you click on this pen-like icon close to contact details, you will find all the fields. So this contact detail is simply a card that stores information. And then this card can be seen as a section, and you can customize the section by removing these contact details, and you will say, I would like to call it about contact. So I will just call it about, or about contact. And I would like to, if you want to let users add more property, you can allow it, but if you do not want, you can toggle it on. So this means only an admin can update the properties of fields here. Now I will leave it on, and I will have to remove every single property here, every field here, and show you what I mean. So I'm deleting the email, the phone number, the preferred channel. I just want to organize this page layout so that it looks more beautiful, it looks finer, and it doesn't get your team confused. It looks clustered to me. I just want to put the most useful informations here. So as I've done this, I'll just leave the first name here, and then I will save. When I save onto this, what you're going to be seeing on this page after saving this, I'm going to save it again. And then if I go back to this, I'm not going to see any of these fields here. I'm going to see just the first name. This is me showing you how to set up the page layout section in HubSpot. Now, when you look at the name, the contact details is no longer here, and we just have about contact, and we have the first name. So let's keep on customizing. In the same about contact, I'm going to start updating the properties I feel are more useful. So the first name and the last name should be here, and then I'll put the company name because that is what most of these contacts here have used. And let's push the company name to the top so it comes first, so that you know that the contact belongs to this company or works for a particular company while working on the contact. And I'm going to add an email, which is a very good field. I'll add the email for sales agents. I'll add the phone number for proper contacts, the phone number. And what again do we need to have? We need to look at the created date. We need to be looking at the last modified date. We need to, okay, I think I will leave these dates to another session. I have the phone number, the email, okay, let me just add location and address. And then I'll save. So this looks much better. You just have the key information you want about a contact, right? And this is how to customize the contact detail of a record page, of a record page. So when I refresh, it's going to reflect what I have done, and you can see we have the company name, we have the first name, last name, email, phone number, and location. Then what happens to other field? I'm going to create a new card and then update important informations on this new card for the record, for the page layout. So follow me carefully. If I want to create a new card, I'll click on this plus button here, and I will add a card. It's either asking me to use the card library or to create a card, but I want to use the card library. And the new creating of the create a card, so that I can create a new card and work my details. So I'm going to be creating a new card, and then I'll click on create a card, and I'll first give it a title. Let me call it record information. So, or about record, because I've called this about contact, let this be about the record. So the sales team does not really need to have access to this. It's just for the admins and the managers. And then for this, I wouldn't allow users to add properties or whatever into it. So what I'm going to do is to start adding properties, and these properties are properties I would like to use to monitor the activities on the record. So I'm going to go with the create date. I'm going to minimize my screen once more. I'm going to go with the create date, and then I'm going to also go with the modified date. I'm going to go with the last activity date. I'm going to go with what else can I create? Owner, the owner of the contact, owner assigned date, and then I'm going to go with what again can we go in here with? The record source, where this record is coming from, and I want to know if it's from the web or from an ad. So I'm going to add original traffic source. So I don't need original traffic source here, so I'm going to delete it, and then I will save onto this. So we have a second session, but it sits on top of the about contact, so I'm just going to drag it out and put it to be beneath it. I'm going to add another section, and this section is going to be from the already saved cards, and I want it to be about website activity, and I want it to be about website activity. You're going to be seeing the number of website visits if you have your website already integrated into your org, into your HubSpot account, and then communication subscription should be there as well to monitor if this user has bounced marketing emails reception and other relevant informations. So you can create multiple cards. You can go ahead and create cards, give it a name you want to give it, and I can call the second one I'm creating add activities, and here I will add all the fields that are relevant to add activities, right? So what I'm going to be adding here should be traffic source, recent conversion date. So I'm going to add original traffic source. It should drill it down, then the latest traffic source, the latest traffic source drill down, and the date, and I'm going to add conversions for web analytics, first conversion, and then I'll add the first conversion date. I'm going to also add the first touch converting campaign, and then I'm going to add the number of some form submissions for people who have submitted forms. I'm going to add the recent conversion and then the recent conversion date. So all those fields that are necessary and applicable for this field, you need to add them here. And if you want to change the position of one, you can simply drag it and drop it and it will change it. So I'm going to save this, and then we take a look at what we have customized so far. So when I save this, I will come to the front end, refresh, and let's take a look at what it looks like. It will now split the informations into sections. Now when it splits it, you're going to see about contact, you're going to see add activities, and then you're going to see the about record, the created dates, the modified dates, the last activity date, contact owner, the record source, and then you're going to see the communication subscription and the website activity. So because there's no website activity here, you can't see any option there. And so this is just how to customize this left panel in the HubSpot account. So if you want to further manage access on this page, you can just come here and click on All right, I'm going to move the add activity down. So communication subscription should be down as well. So if you want to further manage the access on this page, you can come here for, let's say, the add activity, and then you set conditional logic. This conditional logic manages the access. So you select a property. Let me say, if did I add the property type? Okay, I haven't updated the property type. Let me say, if the original traffic source says offline to this particular column, because it doesn't have anything to do with an ad. So I'm going to show you. So if original traffic source is any of, which will be the operator, with any of offline source, you can select multiple values here if you want to, and then if it's any of that, you can then say hide or show. So I'm going to say hide. So I'll apply this, and when I apply this, when I save and refresh my page from the front end, I'm not going to see this add activity anymore, because the original traffic source says if it's the conditional logic there says if it's offline sources for original traffic source property, this add activity section should not be visible. Now let's refresh together and see what happens once we have refreshed. Now this record has met the conditional criteria, so we can't see the add activity, but there is a record here that the original traffic source says probably paid search or paid social or organic search. This add activity is going to show up, which means those informations are very important and crucial to this particular contact. Now I'm going to remove the conditional logic, and then remove the conditional logic, and we are going to see what happens. So we save this again and come back to the front end and refresh, and then the add activity section appears back right into the page layout. Now we have the add activity here. So this is simple and breezy, and even if you don't want to see this working as a salesperson, you can just click on this drop down arrow here and close the panel or close the section. So it reduces the number of information you see. So when you have organized your page layouts like this, your sales team, whatever team you have, works efficiently and not get themselves confused. Now on these other sides of the page layout, there are just simple customizations. So we have the customer insight, which just shows you insights about what is happening inside a contact, and then it asks you the type of summary length you want for it. So this contact insight is usually given by the breeze. There's something they call breeze in HubSpot, but we've not gotten there. So it's just an artificial intelligence, and you can just choose whatever way you want the information to appear, and you can show conversion status and just show suggested actions. These are just intelligent follow-up actions that are being suggested by default to users. Now this is just how to organize this card called contact insight. You can as well change the contact insight and call it a different name. Same thing with recent interactions, but most times recent interaction doesn't get updated. You can't update it by default, or you can't customize it, because it shows you the interactions, like the ad activity when an ad was created. Or so let me just go to catch up and show you what I mean. So the recent interaction is just showing you the activities on the account. Like there's an outbound task, there is an outbound task here, and the other activities that are going on within the contact, it displays here. So you can't actually customize or update whatever is showing on these recent interactions, but you can remove this card and also add it back when you. You can also arrange this by moving this to the top and moving it. You can just move it by simply dragging and dropping. You can set conditional logics on it. You can add card, you can add sections in between them, and these here are just the ones that are by default updated by Salesforce. This is a duplicate record, and this is mostly functional or existing in data in the, I think, in a particular license for Hub professionals. And then you can remove it if you do not want it. You can say come back and add it. Another thing we have to look at in this page layout is moving the tab label for these ones that are at the center of the page layout. You can edit the tab label and change the name. You can go to it and then actually edit the cards, rearrange it the way you want it to be, but you cannot really do much about information that are sitting at the center. The ones that you are going to be able to customize and navigate and build it the way you want it is the contact details at the left hand side. And then you can go to your revenue and activities and intelligence, set it up however you want it, and then you can actually change the tab order. Let's say you want about to be the first, you can just move around it, move it and drop and save. And then we have the settings of this. So specify where users are allowed to reorder cards within this view. You can choose either the left side only or the right side. So this is just simple. You just need to understand whatever you're trying to build and then come to the back end and arrange your page layout the way you want it to look. So here at the right side we have all the related objects. So if you have a related company to this contact, is going to show up here as a company, but if you remove them it can't show. And also you can actually specify the fields you want to show. It's going to be showing just like a mini field, but you can actually choose the ones that you feel are necessary for you. So you can also show your deals if they are your deals, so long as the deals are associated with the relationships has been created at the back end. You can see the relationship. You can also add multiple objects so long as you have created, especially for if you're using custom objects, so long as you have created the manual association at the back end. You can see the option to update multiple objects here. Now this is just how to customize your page layout and organize your org, avoid your team being confused, and declutter your org. So page layout is just like a powerhouse that makes users understand CRM properly, because even while you're working with your page layout, you need to make it scalable and friendly. CRM is supposed to be scalable and user friendly and not disorganized. It's supposed to be something that when you take a look at it at a first glance, you understand to some extent why this is happening and why this is happening. And page layout is one of the tools and one of the most powerful tools that helps you to keep this thing intact and in sync. So if you like this video, please like, subscribe, drop a comment and share, and come back for the next session. Thank you.